kind of led to the struggles for Justin early?
I don't know. I mean, for me, it wasn't so much the home runs and the balls that go over the wall. It's kind of the execution of the free bases and failed job of putting guys away. But yeah, just struggled today. So not quite sure why.
What do you think it was as a pitching staff for you guys to just didn't go well? And it's kind of the first game this season where you guys did see a little bit of adversity throughout the entire contest.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you're going to run into a team that's hot. I thought everything they put the bat on was hit hard. We're 12 games in, and I would say the 12 games, that's going to happen sometimes. So. Honestly, for me, it's just one of those games because our guys, it's pretty good. I give them credit. They they barreled the baseball up, but there's not a lot to make out of that other than sometimes it just happens.
So you were pleased by not necessarily how it ended, but just what Barnett and Whipovich were doing, and maybe they just got hit.
Yeah, we just didn't have
Yeah.
Sometimes you have that. Like I was proud we came back after the sixth spot, and they get another tackle on a couple more, we come back, tie it up, you're feeling pretty good. It was just one of those where we couldn't shut it off, and it wasn't at that point to me as much as that we were giving it to them. They give them credit, man. They hit 3 or 4 home runs at that point. So early on, I think we gave them some stuff, but after that, we settled in. But unfortunately, they were hot, and we just outs were tough to come by.
This ends a pretty remarkable weekend for you guys in terms of offense. What do you think kind of clicked? Was it offensive approach? Was it staying patient? But what do you kind of think?
I think guys just relaxing a little bit and letting the game come to them. We've talked about it in here before. I don't think the offensive piece is going to be the biggest concern for us. I think our challenge at this point is some of those young guys that we've talked about in here that have been very successful and are going to continue to be very successful. This was the first day getting roughed up. So this sport, or really sports in general, life in general, is how do you bounce back? So you got to have a short memory on that. We've got 2 very, very important baseball games coming up this weekend, and if you're disappointed losing or disappointed winning weekends, then we're in a pretty good spot.
Is there value in what happened to the younger guys today as far as teaching them goes, just that it's not always going to be easy?
Well, I mean, I'd rather not have it that way, but no, there's always, this game is about how you respond, and for, like I said, for some of these guys, it's the first time it's happened to them in the competition piece, so it'll be a learning experience for them, it'll be a learning experience for us, but you have to have a short memory in this game, so just, again, I give them credit. I don't think it was so much what we weren't doing. They barreled up some balls and we got out of here today.
The move of putting Torque in center and he had to run down a few balls, is that something that could possibly stick, or maybe throw it in every other couple?
That was more on just the situation of the game.
Yeah.
We were down 6 at the time that we decided to do that because with the wind blowing out the way that it was, we just wanted to try to keep Tolman in the game because he's a fly ball guy, and that was really the only reason that we did that.
Okay.
How do you help Justin bounce back after a performance like this? Because this is the second one in a row where he's kind of struggled after having a pretty solid opening night. So how do you help him go from here?
Going back to what I said, you got to have a short memory. You got to get out there, compete in the zone. I mean, I think that was a victim of his own circumstances today in terms of the walks hurt him more than anything. It wasn't the home run. It's the free stuff and not executing the pitches when ahead of the count. That's just going to come through preparation and working with JK and making sure that, given those circumstances again, you learn from that and you succeed the next time. But we got a lot of baseball left. He's a good pitcher. We're not too worried about it. He's pretty good.
Do you feel like kind of with your guys' staff, and you mentioned the 5-man and kind of mix it around, that next week almost sets up perfectly for that, of having the 5 games and all of them can get one?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we talked about.
Yeah.
Clearly, we're disappointed with today. You jump out 5-0, that's the great game of baseball. It can turn on you in a second. We're disappointed we didn't get the win, But we went into this, with the plan. Unfortunately, we just didn't execute on the mound today. And I'll go back to it. Not even maybe not execute on the mound. They just did a better job in the batter's box today against us. But we feel like we're in a pretty good spot or pretty good shape heading to Fullerton with the guys that we want on the mound at that time. And just disappointed with losing. But like I said, won the weekend. We keep winning weekends. We're going to play deep into the season.
How nice was it to see Drew get his first home run?
Yeah, get that thing out of the way. So get back to hitting singles, we'll be just fine.
What's your biggest takeaway from a weekend like this? Because you guys hit well throughout the entire weekend, and then it was just today that was really a tough pitching performance.
I think a learning, to me, a learning experience that, if you take, and it could be offensively, defensively, but for me, there were some key situations in the early part of this game on just executing a pitch, not even on a walk or something like that, but executing the pitch. And if it doesn't happen, that those things can turn. So you got to stay locked in, stay focused mentally the entire time. I think that's the biggest thing. It's not always going to be easy. Up to this point, our pitchers have thrown unbelievably well. I think Jeremy said it's, what was that? The longest since 2000. So 11 years.
5 or fewer runs in the first 11 games, the first time since 2009.
Yeah, so we've thrown really, really well. We're not going to make more out of it than it is. This was this was Nebraska's day. I give those guys a lot of credit. They're strong. I mean, they got a veteran team back from last year. Today they put the bat on the baseball and were better than us. Better than, they won the showdowns today of that situation. So credit them, but our guys will be ready on Tuesday. Excited to get back out there.
As far as the mental aspect of pitching goes, when you have younger guys that come into a game like this and then they fall behind and they start to give up runs, would you say that in your experience you notice that they kind of do lose that mental edge as it starts to get harder and harder for them, and that's one of the biggest things that they need to learn early in their collegiate careers?
Well, I'd say anybody. I mean, sports, it's not easy. You're going out there, everybody's trying, but I don't know. I didn't see a lack of want to. Just one of those where they fell behind and fall behind, particularly in a high level Division I game. Those guys give scholarships too, so they put the bat on the baseball, and as well as we hit today, they hit better. So sometimes that's going to happen, and I don't think our guys panicked. I don't think our guys are wavering in their confidence or anything like that. It's one of those where if you're competitive, you get a little, pardon my French, you get a little pissed off, that you didn't get the outs. But I don't think guys are in panic mode or, geez, what do I got to do? I think they're like, you know what, we've been successful up to this point. They got the better of us today. Maybe I need to ratchet up a little bit more mentally next time in key situations, whatever it may be. But it's nothing major. We got some good arms that are going to be just fine.
This is another game you guys kind of fought back from a deficit, even though it didn't go your way at the end. Have you been just kind of pleased in that way of just seeing your teams fight, and really no matter how much they get down there?
Yeah, I take a lot of solace, honestly, in just our even keel approach that we keep coming, and sometimes the pitching is going to bail out the offense. Sometimes the offense is going to bail it out. But I think if we play good baseball, like we did this weekend, consistent baseball, like we did this weekend, we're going to win our fair share of games. I highly doubt that when you look at box scores over and over again as the rest of the season plays out, the teams are going to get 17 hits off of us and 18 runs. It just happens sometime. And we've been on a little bit Friday night, maybe that everything you hit falls and finds a hole. That happened for them today, and more power to them. You give them credit. They got the hits today. I thought we played fairly well. Just had no answer for them on the mound today. It just happens.
Was throwing Tolman today just more of a setup for the midweek kind of a?
Yeah,
okay.
a little tune-up. Yeah, we'd gone into today saying we're going to throw him an inning, so worked out.
Good couple innings from Seth over the weekend. Do you see his role sort of beginning to increase in what's been a strong young bullpen?
Yeah. I mean, it's about strikes and competing in the zone, because when we get in trouble, as witnessed today, is when we construct innings, and so he's every time he's taken the ball this weekend, he performed, and that's how you earn future opportunities. So he's looked good in the practices. He's made himself, ready when he steps out there. So I'm sure his opportunities will continue to increase as long as he continues to do the job. That's the way sports work.
Alika had a lot of hard hit balls this weekend. Do you think he's finally starting to turn the corner offensively?
Well, he's been hitting the ball hard prior to this, but it's nice to see a couple of those, fall in there. But you go back to, we're 12 games in. You play. I'll take his approach, his ABs up to this point over an extended period, and I would say that some of those are gonna start falling. But yeah, I'm happy for him because he's been striking balls hard. He hasn't been freaking out. He hasn't been trying to be somebody he's not. He's stayed very consistent, and I think if he does that, he's going to be what he always was, which is a 300 hitter for us.
Thanks, kid.
Thank you.